So, if you're in your 30s and you're thinking, am I too old for medical school? Then this video is for you. Hi, so I'm Clarisse and I'm a mom of two and a medical student who started this journey in her 30s, 33 to be precise. And in this video, I'm going to share how I managed to get into medical school later in life and how age was actually one of my strengths. So for those who know, I didn't go into medical school through the traditional route for so many reasons, which I've shared in previous videos. But basically, I didn't manage to get into medical school straight after high school because I relocated to the UK and I did not have my A levels and GCSEs. So it was difficult to get a place for medicine in the UK without the UK qualifications. So I decided to do a first degree, which was in biomedical science. And then after that, the plan was to apply for graduate entry medicine, which would take 4 years. So 3 years for the degree, for the biomedical science degree, and then 4 years for the graduate entry medicine. So I did the degree, the biomedical science degree, and then I graduated in 2013. And then from 2013 onwards, up until like 2021, I was actively applying year after year. And what happened was just that it was so competitive, so I could not get any place, any acceptance. I was just being rejected for about 8 years, basically, which was quite difficult. And then in 2021, I had my first baby. And then in 2022, that's when I finally got an acceptance from the university that I'm studying at right now. So this acceptance basically came when life was very busy. I had life responsibilities as a mom and I didn't have any time. And that's when like self-doubt starts creeping in and the fear of like starting over, 33, that's a real fear. But I think what I had at that time was just the clarity and the determination and the motivation to really go for my dreams. And so I knew I wanted to become a doctor, and that purpose became the anchor throughout my process. So for many years, I felt like my never give up attitude was my biggest asset. I feel like life experience and being rejected so many times and having to pick myself up again and reapply year after year was really an asset that actually allowed me to get onto medical school at this age. So I feel like every single time I was being rejected, I had all these negative voices. Am I too old? Have I missed my chances? If it was meant to happen, it would have happened so many years ago. So I had to really quiet these negative voices, because had I not kept reapplying, I wouldn't have come across the course that I'm on to right now. So in 2021, after so many rejections, obviously year after year, because I was applying for graduate entry medicine and it's quite competitive, and because I didn't have my A levels or GCSEs from the UK, my options were quite narrowed, and the universities that I could apply to, they were actually the most competitive in the country, the best in the country. So literally my chances were quite low. So because of being rejected over and over again, I had to kind of like try to find another way that maybe can work. So by doing that research, that's when in 2021, I came across this course that the University of Liverpool was offering. And basically you do a foundation year, so year 0, that's what they call it. And then when you pass that year, you automatically start medical school, the 5 years route. So in total, you do 6 years. So that was quite, a stretch, because it was hard enough thinking about doing 4 years. And now I had to think about doing 6 years. So that was really kind of scary, but I was prepared to take on this challenge. So I applied, and I remember going to see the UCAT in 2021 whilst I was heavily pregnant. And in 2022, that's when I received my acceptance, and it was just surreal. It was amazing, an amazing feeling knowing that I had waited for so long and eventually this was happening for me. So once I got that acceptance, everything changed. I knew that I had to take on this opportunity, and I had to start thinking about, strategies. How am I going to do this? I had to think about the discipline that it's going to require to juggle motherhood and medical school and all my other responsibilities. I had to think about time management. I had to think about believing in myself. I'm fairly a positive person. I'm very optimistic. I'm confident. But sometimes you do have those little nudges, little negative voices that creep in, and so you have to be able to silence them. So it was just an amazing experience to kind of like take myself away from that negativity and really focus on the opportunity that was in front of me. This is what I think made me stood out from the rest of the candidates as a master's student. I feel like, having responsibility, having life responsibilities meant that I can juggle motherhood. At the same time, I've shown resilience. At the same time, I've shown how my time management is quite up to scratch. And I felt like this really matters because once you become a doctor, that's exactly how life is going to be hectic. So it's important to actually show that you can manage before you become a doctor. And then another thing was that I was quite clear. I had a clear motivation of why I want to become a doctor. So I could easily articulate why medicine and why now. And then preparation was that I took on a full-time commitment to prepare. So I remember when I was preparing for my interviews, I literally told my family that I had a very important job interview to prepare for so that they wouldn't disturb me. So nobody knew that this was actually a medical school interview until I had gotten my acceptance. So I was fully committed. And obviously just being consistent, staying focused, and not letting anything kind of get in the way, because life happens. But if you just stay focused on what's important to you, that definitely helped me. So I feel like being older meant that I knew myself better. And I feel like the admissions team value that in a candidate. I won't pretend that it was easy. Definitely I've faced so many rejections, as you know, and I've questioned myself, and I've been worried that I'm not going to be able to balance my family life with such a demanding career. But I had to remember that, difficulty doesn't mean that it's impossible. It just means that you have to tackle it, find a way, and just do it. So when I finally got that acceptance, this wasn't just about getting into medical school. This was proof that, starting later doesn't mean you've started the wrong time. It just means that you're starting when you're ready. So if you're considering medical school in your 30s or beyond, then this will be my advice. Honestly, your age is not a disadvantage. It's an asset, so use it as such. And your life experience, that adds depth into your application. You become unique, because it's very hard to go back to school in your 30s. So you become that unique entity that can stand out from the rest. Your timeline doesn't need to match anyone else's. Your timeline is yours, so stick to your timeline. So if this video has helped you or encouraged you, then please like and subscribe and join me here at Clarisse's Hub. I'll be sharing more about medical school, motherhood, starting over, and navigating life at your own timeline. And so let's just move on together, and it's never too late to chase the life that you're called to live. So until next time, take care.